Welcome everybody to this week's KubeVirt community meeting. It is the 5th of November, 2025. I hope you're all doing well wherever it is that you are today or whenever you're watching this, in case it's a recording. Do we have anyone who is new this week or hasn't taken the opportunity to introduce themselves who would like to do so now? All righty, we'll move along. I'm going to skip over the schedule check-in. Oh, you know what? I'm not. It's worth having a look. We've hit code freeze. That was last week. And we're now roaring towards GA in 2 weeks' time. That's 2 weeks today, I believe. And we'll talk a little bit about that when we hit the agenda. The upcoming CFPs. I'm just going to quickly jump onto this to point at KubeCon. We've got a bunch of talks that are happening at KubeCon that's happening next week in Atlanta, Georgia. If you are going to be there, drop by the project booth and say good day to the KubeVirt team who's going to be there. FOSDEM is also a thing that's on our agenda. All righty, let me just see, is Lubo here? Lubo is here. Lubo, are you able to just quickly speak to the, I just wanted to bring attention to your release 1.7 backporting thread on the mailing list.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to add. Basically, if you got the MPRs approved and LGTM ahead of time, but the CI was the problem, or maybe some other problem that is like reasonable, you can open the backports. And if you don't really know if you can open a backport, please ask on the mailing thread or directly.
Right on. Does anyone have any question about that? Cool. The FOSDEM dev rooms has been announced, and once again, the virtualization and cloud infrastructure room will be there. They have a CFP out. I can't remember which day it's going to be. I think it's Saturday. It's a nice big long email. This very much falls into our purview, and I highly recommend FOSDEM. It's a really wonderful conference, and it's a very intense dev room. It's a fun experience. And so please, by all means, send in your submissions to that. And if you're unsure about your proposal or you'd like a second opinion, you're welcome to ping me. This expires, 5th of December is when the submission deadline is. So you got a month. Don't do what I always do and leave to the last minute. It was very nice to see this from Itamar. This is a great time to submit VEPs for 1.8. Itamar, I think you're here. I think I just saw your thumbs up. Do you want to give a vocal recap of this?
Yeah, so basically, I think that in the previous releases, only when we started VEP planning, VEPs started to show up. Now I think it's a great time to submit VEPs ahead of time. It will give us all more time to review and give feedback. I also saw some new VEPs coming in, so yeah, great to see this, and yeah, the sooner the better.
Thank you. Yeah, hearty +1 on that. The sooner the better. Again, don't leave it at the last minute like I always do, because then the reviews don't have time to adequately review it, and it won't make it into 1.8. Fact of life. We have, well, does anyone have any questions about VEPs, the VEP process, anything like that?
No, but I would add to this that submitting VEPs is great, but also they need to be reviewed. So anyone who has free time on his hands, hers, please jump in and start reviewing.
This is
Absolutely.
exactly the question I have. How to submit a web in a proper way. I'm having difficulties to do that. Can you help me? For 1.8?
So did you find our project, our repository for that? KubeVirt enhancements?
KubeVirt enhancement. Yes, you point last Wednesday, correct?
Yeah, so in the README there should be like a write-up. If this is not enough, then let us know.
Okay. I'm gonna try it. I lost the link. Can you put on the chat?
And maybe we can do it also to the meeting notes, so you can come back anytime and have a look.
Great.
Have it there.
Thank you.
Also, to add to the great time for reps from next week, we should have open hours for reps. Yeah, exactly what Andrew is, I think, writing now. You're muted. Still muted.
That's going to be this time, but an hour earlier, but on Tuesday. So an hour and a day earlier than the community meeting, I think. But check the calendar. The calendar is our source of truth. Yeah, and that is a great point. If you've got a VEP out and you're confident about it, but you still don't have any feedback or anything, that's a really great place to go to. Well, actually, you should go to the SIG first. But if you've got feedback or if you've got a new VEP, please bring that to the VEP discussion meeting and say, hey, here it is, and run through it with the people who are there, and you'll get some instant feedback, and hopefully we'll speed this process up a bit. Any more questions about VEPs before we move on? Cool. We have a new blog, stretching a layer 2 network over multiple KubeVirt clusters. That is from Miguel, and he has a follow-up in the pipeline that will also be coming out pretty soon. So if you're into that kind of a thing, check it out. Also, is Lee here? Lee is not here. It looks as though we have some movement on the SIG architecture, SIG control plane front. I believe he said that this was merged. And so we now have, now does this mean we no longer have SIG compute?
No, we still have SIG compute.
Oh, good. Oh, good. But we
No.
have more.
Yeah, the main idea with the SIG control plane is that we would want to separate, kind of open up the shared parts, which are the controllers and things around it, maybe some of the CPU API aspects. But the main idea is that until now, anyone who wanted to contribute or become an approver in that area would have to become an improver in SIG compute, and this is a very high bar, and kind of you need to understand also the compute parts, and taking this out and separating the controllers into something that we all that is shared between the SIGs, SIG network and SIG storage, SIG monitoring. All the contributors there are able and capable of reviewing and approving parts that are shared between all of us. And becoming an approver and reviewer there, it doesn't require you to understand the hardware and the low-level compute components. So for me, it's a welcome change.
I don't have any like party whistles or anything, but I do have a spinning blue light. I don't know if anyone can see that. So, woo! Does anyone have any questions about the new changes with SIG architecture? Oh, there's a doot and SIG control plane. And unless I'm mistaken, Lee was looking for, or I guess we're all looking for additional maintainers for, was it SIG architecture? I feel like one of them's got its chairs, but the other SIG doesn't. Is that correct?
I'm not sure. I think we need to kind of do this offline, maybe in the mailing list. But the idea here is that, I mean, since SIG control plane is shared between different groups, I mean, we need to have representation there from potentially everybody, all the different SIGs. In one form or another. And I'm not sure, but perhaps these nominations, they shouldn't be done on this PR. But maybe we need to create some kind of a first iteration and then continue with the way we were nominating for all these various SIGs separately.
Okay. No more questions. It's out of battery. All right. Andre, you've got a point about GPU lab migration.
Just 1 second, I'm grabbing a link about the KMU. Just 1 second. KMU. We are working, as you see here, in a way to do GPU live migration. But to make it happen on top of KubeVirt, we need to enable at least version 9.2 of KMU, because this is already part of the Vulkan part. How we can change the KMU on KubeVirt? That's my biggest questions. Then later on, I plan to put a POC and publish here. Anyone? To know how to use to know what KMU version we are using on KubeVirt today.
You should be able to check that in the code under KubeVirt RPMs, I think. There's a shell script where all the variables at the beginning are the current version. Or alternatively, you can search for the RPM in the workspace file.
Hope you can see the links going into chat at the moment.
Great. Custom RPMs. Great. But where can I know what version we are using today on KubeVirt?
I think Lubo's answered with 9.1.0 minus 20 EL9.
there is a reason for don't move to 9.2 that I need to be aware of.
Likely no one made the update PR in a while.
Okay, I'm gonna do it. Okay. When I have something to show, I share here, but seems promising to be able to make it possible, okay, to do GPU live migration without the NVIDIA drivers and without any further problems. Later on, we plan to also do live migration with the Intel GPUs also, okay? We have some labs here. We are using a specific GPU that is very, very cheap. Is Intel D50, $350 is 10 times cheaper than any NVIDIA because we use only for rendering, not for artificial intelligence. Makes sense for us. Okay. For you know.
So Andre, it looks as though there could be an open issue. It's been posted into chat, and it looks as though there is an issue with Windows 2016 in that upgrade. So before you go and make a new PR, check out what's existing there and the issues that have been currently encountered. And then, yeah, take it from there. Either join the conversation or create an additional PR.
This is regarding KMU newest version, correct?
I believe so. Normally we bump QEMU every release.
I didn't understand very well. KMU version.
Oh, okay, we're upgrading to 9.1.
Now I find 9.1, and now I understand. Great, very helpful. Thank you, guys. Always very helpful.
Thank you. All right, we got a couple of pull requests.
Any ideas regarding the effort we are doing to make GPU live migration over pure open source? Okay, thank you so much for your effort so far.
It might be a good question for the SIG Compute SIG meeting after this. Although I feel like we talked about it last week.
I talked with them already.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool. All right. We've got a couple of PRs and a bug to look at. This is pretty small. This is from Alan. I don't know if Alan's here. Does it look like it? This is bumping the AMD SEV documentation. Is anyone able to take a look at this for a review? It's not overly old. I just happened to notice it before this meeting.
You can add me, Andrew, if you want. I can take a quick look at it first.
Thank you, Brian. And this one is teensy tiny. And I think it actually might already have an LGTM on it. If someone's just able to confirm that this is indeed true, you can basically do this live.
I'm not sure.
Okay, we're not doing it live then.
I don't know. We better check it offline. I cannot say on top of my head.
Okay. Sounds good. And we have
It's actually is.
It
Yeah,
is?
sorry. Yeah, it seems like it is.
It is.
Is this related to guest NUMA mapping?
Yes. I mean, there was no change, right? We still supported only the pass-through, and I'm not sure if we ever want to do anything more.
Yeah, I assume. I think so.
Andrew, if you have a approver rights, I give you the blessing.
Someone just needs to throw an LGTM on it, but I'm happy to approve it. Bum, 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 bum. Well, let me.
Maybe a small remark, but that's very general. We should probably encode like what version and what stage the features are, because right now it can be very confusing for users just going through the user guide and say, oh, this is beta, but in what version, or this is GA in what version?
That's a good point. Yep.
Yeah, I think we have it all over the place. Every feature that we add, we need to indicate the maturity stage, and we don't have this. Okay, if you read the user guide right now, it's very difficult to understand. I think we need to think about changing this, maybe to make it closer to what Kubernetes has.
Yep. I remember quite a while ago now, I remember Igor and Alice brought up versioning the user guide. And I think I was a bit, but since then I've seen elegant ways of doing it with our current tool chain. And so that's a potential project for the next couple of months. If someone gets the time, possibly me. I think that'd help out with this kind of stuff a huge amount, where we just freeze the user guide and then have it versioned. So we don't really have to worry about this kind of thing because it's always going to be in the right version.
But for example, we have different features that are still stuck in alpha or beta for whatever reason, but they are already documented. How would we know that, the maturity stage of each of them?
We wouldn't know the maturity stage, but for instance, let's just say that in version 1.6, NUMA GA'd. Well, the 1.6 documentation would say that it's enabled by default, but the 1.5 wouldn't. And it would be ongoing like that. So it'd mostly be affecting graduation changes, which I think is the only thing that we really bother with documentation as far as stuff like feature gates is concerned. And soon we won't even have feature gates.
Can you say what? Can you repeat?
Just regarding the potential versioning of our KubeVirt user guide.
It's going to happen or not?
Potentially, hopefully.
Okay, until it is happening, then I suggest anyone that is documented feature gates, betas, alpha, GA, when you document it, you should put a comment at the beginning, a note about the history, like when it was introduced as
Which
alpha,
version?
beta. Yeah, when you talk specific features, yes, put a version on it.
Do we currently make a large distinction in the user guide between alpha and beta features?
We do it in the API, I think.
Oh, okay.
But if it's in the user guide in this format or not, there is no a grid format. Everyone is doing whatever they prefer.
Gotcha. I kind of thought it was more pre-graduated and graduated when it comes to feature gates and stuff.
Well, I think in the user guide you will have sometimes introduction about something that you can do and experiment with, so it can reach there before the graduation. It makes sense, and then for example, some feature get more fields or drop fields, stuff like that. So usually you are interested to expose that as well, so people will know if you document it.
Yeah, but that's the thing. When you read the user guide, it doesn't tell you if this API is ever going to change, or is it already stable, or what's going on with this. So we do have some sort of a documentation about feature gates, but when you look at the feature itself in the user guide, it doesn't. It's for me, it was very difficult to understand, like in what stage is it, what stage of development.
Yeah, so I'm saying that everyone that documented stuff, it was on them to do it. There was no requirement, there is no format. But I remember there were some user guides that I was involved in, and it was specified that something is still beta, it's not yet GA. There was a warning. And then when it was GA, I remember there were all kind of fields, and the fields themselves were in the documentation. It was mentioned that this is available from version X, and that is from version Y, and so on. It's like the Go and other languages documentation. This is what they usually do. But yeah, but I'm guessing most of the user guide does not include it.
So now we have the user guide updates as part of the like a graduation criteria in VEPs. Maybe this is a good opportunity to introduce something that that we enforce.
Yes. We are at time. I'm going to add this to continue talking about next week. We've also talked about having a flag for all PRs as to whether or not they have a docs impact. And so this can also be potentially included in that. I don't want to eat into SIG Compute's time, so we'll leave it there. Thank you, everybody. I hope you all have a beautiful rest of the day, and we'll see you next week. Ta-ta.
Thank you.
Yeah.
See you. Bye-bye.